Okay.
And then just email me the link.
Okay. Okay, I think we're recording.
All right, welcome to our coaching chat. Today we are in part 2 of dollars and cents. And last week we talked about, what does it take? What does it look like to generate a $500 amount of income a month, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000? And we kind of broke down, here's what, from a customer standpoint and a partner standpoint, is needed to reach those levels. So the good thing is, and I was just voxering with someone earlier today, that whether you've got somebody who just wants to do a little and maybe just cover their cost and share with a few people, or they want to do a lot and build a nice income stream, the answer is yes. We have a yes answer to them, and we can just encourage people to move at whatever pace they want.
Sorry, Elaine.
I didn't realize, have I been unmuted this whole time?
No, you just started.
Oh, okay. The good thing is we can encourage people at whatever pace they want to go. And sometimes people may in the beginning just want to start slow, but find out that they're passionate about this and can really build and grow into these bigger numbers. So wherever you are, be encouraged that you can grow. You can continue at this pace, or you can grow to whatever level you want. So we talked about that last week. This week, I wanted to finish up with a couple more things just to walk everybody through. So these are what I call the tricks of the trade. So if you want to know kind of what's it going to take for me to really get on, what kind of action is needed. First and foremost, you hear us talking about trying to get 5 new customers a month. Now, I'm here to say in 20 years, this has always been my goal, but I don't always meet it. But that's my goal that I strive for and work toward, and make as many connections as I can to help me realize that goal. So what kind of connections are needed to try to realize that 5 customer a month goal? All right, so if I say 60 connections, some of you may be like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I know 60 people, but we all do, and we know we all do. But when we're focusing on making the activity, then the results come about. So what I want to challenge you guys to do is focus on the activity. So if my goal is 5 customers, the activity is going to need to be there in regard to connecting and talking with people. So whenever I'm talking to people, I'm here, I'm like, I just can't build and grow my business. Almost 100% of the time, I can link it back to the fact that they're not putting in the activity it takes to really build and grow a business. And so if I'm thinking about 60 connections a week, 60 connections a month, divided by 4 weeks in a month, that's about 15 connections a week. And honestly, even if we're busy, if you think about that, that's like, so 2 people a day, if you're doing it every day of the week. No matter how busy we are, pretty much everyone can talk to 2 people a week. Do I have an agreement on that? Okay, so that really, now if you want to keep it in a work week, it would take a few more, 3 a day. But really, if someone says, I can't connect with that many people, they're really probably not being honest with themselves. So, but here's the deal. We all would probably agree that, okay, 15 connections a week is doable. But what happens is we don't have a system to hold ourselves accountable. And that's where it breaks down. So make sure you've got some kind of system, some kind of reminder. Last week I shared, I literally have one time a reminder in the morning and a reminder in the afternoon that I need to stop. I take an hour. You don't even have to take an hour, maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, or maybe make 1 connection in the morning and 1 connection in the afternoon. Whatever works for your schedule. but I have a reminder on my phone to make sure that I stop whatever I'm doing and make sure that I'm making these connections with people. So first and foremost, make sure you've got some kind of system to get those 60 connections in a month. If it's just little tallies somewhere on a piece of paper, it doesn't matter what the system is, you just better have a system, because customers are the foundation of building our business and making those numbers that we talked about, making that income. The next thing is taking it up a whole nother level, and that's doing 5 new customers, 1 new partner, and bringing the last month's partner up to the next level. Again, you know, my goal is 12 new partners a year. I may not get 12. I may only get 10. But if I know my goal, it's keeping it top of mind. And so not only is it bringing on that partner, but also the partner you brought on is locking arms with them. Don't let them not be successful. You guys hang on to them and say, I'm going to sit in the mud puddle with you. I'm going to, whatever I got to do to help you get there, I am by your side. If you need me to call someone, if you need me to have an event, if we need to do a 3-way call, I'm your buddy. I'm there with you. You guys, let's lock arms with these new people so that they can see the success. Now, if you look at what I have written there, if you did a 5-1-1 every single month for 24 months, you'd reach National Marketing Director in a 2-year time frame. That's amazing. Now, that is a really quick cadence. But what it helps you understand is it is doable. People have done it. It took me 3 years to get there, but what we want to do is help people get there as soon as possible. And so this 5-1-1, setting that as a goal, don't beat yourself up if you miss it, but have that goal set so that you are working toward that pace so that it's going to put you in the best chance possible of getting to where you want to go in the shortest period of time. Now, that third bullet point is we talk about 24 trios. And the reason is 24 trios is going to allow you to pick up that 3% bonus. And so we want everyone, not for anyone to leave any money on the table. So if I have a partner underneath me and they're not qualifying, I don't get that 3% bonus doesn't roll up to me. It's just gone. So why would we ever want to leave that 3% on the table? We want to make sure that everybody maximizes their paycheck, and having a qualified business is a surefire way of maximizing your income. Now, look at that next point, number of customers. So another reason why qualifying your business, getting those 24 trios is so critical is because it ups your customer count. And what we know is 15% of our customers are going to want to be partners. So the higher my customer count, the higher my chances from a percentage standpoint of getting partners interested in joining me in this business. So higher customer count, higher partner. So 15% of our customers are going to want to be partners. So make sure you're having lots and lots of conversations with your customers, because that's where 15% of your partners are going to come. Now, once you get these partners, 10% of those partners will ultimately become qualifiers based on statistics. So the more partners we have, the more chances of those partners becoming qualified partners. So we still want to bring in partners maybe who don't even qualify. That's okay, because all of those points continue to help us build and grow our business. But the more partners we come in, that we bring in, then 10% of those are going to be qualifiers. Those are going to be your key workers in your business, and really the people who you want to see successful, that you want to spend the majority of your time with, helping them build and grow their business. And then lastly, from those qualifiers, about 1% of them will become national marketing directors. And just the numbers kind of vary from an income standpoint. But what I've kind of seen with every national marketing director leg you have, that's probably equates to about $100,000 income stream. Anybody would enjoy that kind of income stream coming in? I do. And that's a great thing to strive for and work for if you really want to build and grow a business. But you don't have to. You know, at one point, my husband was like, Elaine, everybody may not have the goal of going to national marketing director. And I was like, what? But he's right. And that's okay. So we want to lock arms with those workers who really do want to build and grow. But we also want to love and encourage those partners on our team who maybe don't have that aspiration, because we do value and we know they're reaching a group of people we'll never be able to reach. So encourage, love on the people who are customers and partners on your team, and then really lock arms with those who really want to build and grow to a qualified business and then on up that compensation ladder. So those are kind of some tricks of the trade of what we do and how we get and move up in this business and see those paychecks really grow. Now, that's what we need to do, and kind of some quick ways to figure out how to, what it takes to get to those dollar amounts that we showed. But what it really boils down to is what's the action that takes day in and day out. It's that consistency of effort that makes all the difference in the world. And some of you may have heard me walk through this list, but this is a list of things that are really non-negotiables if we want to build to that 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 a month range. This is the activity that it takes. Not only is this the activity, but it's that consistency of doing it day in and day out, day in and day out. The beautiful thing is with our business, we have the flexibility to do whenever we want to build and grow. But it is that consistency of doing these few things. And it's not, what is that saying? It's not that we have to be extra, or how is that say? Someone extra, not that we have to be extraordinary. It's just those ordinary things that we want to consistently do day in and day out. So first of all is make a list. That is our starting point. Who, what, when, or where. Who you going to talk to? We're going to take a few minutes as soon as I finish here, and we're going to do some planning. And it goes back to that who, what, when, and where. Who are you going to see this week? Who are you going to talk to this week? Who haven't you talked to in a while and you need to reach out to? Who have you been in conversation with that it would make sense to follow up with them in regard to have an OGs Plus conversation? I just was in a text exchange with a gal who I've been talking to about inviting her into our business, and she is on my dream team. I literally got a text and said, okay, girl, let's meet for dinner and let's you and I talk Juice Plus. You talk about, that was exciting starting a day like this, because this gal I'm so excited with. So who have you been dripping on that now's the time to reach out with them this week that needs to go on your list? And what is it that you need to say to them? What's the next step? What's the next conversation? When are you going to connect with them? Is it today? Is it tomorrow? Are you going to set up a time to meet? When is it? And where are you going to meet? Now, some people you may meet on Zoom. I had another conversation with a gal who is bringing on 2 new partners. She's a new partner and bringing on 2 new partners. So we're talking about where are we going to meet? We're going to meet on Zoom. We're going to meet on a 3-way call. She's going to meet them. She's going there to them in person. So making that list, and then who, what, when, or where. What are you going to give that new person? What are you going to say? Make a plan when we're planning at the end of this call. You guys, we got to get good at sharing our story and also sharing other people's story. So maybe, just maybe, doing a 3-way call and letting someone else share their story may be the next step. Maybe you've already shared your story and you got a little bit of traction with that person, but they're not on board yet. So maybe think about, I'm looking at Brenda right now, maybe Brenda could have a call with them, a 3-way call that would help take them to the next level. I'm looking at Erin's sweet face. You know, there are people that Erin can resonate with and people can connect with that would maybe connect better than I would. So think about your upline. Who in your upline maybe could have a better conversation or a new conversation or a next step conversation. So get good at your story and also get good at sharing other people's stories if they're recorded. Use that recording Facebook group. If you're not on there, by all means, you got to get on there so that you can use people's story from there. So it doesn't even have to be a live person. You can send somebody else's story. Follow up, follow up, follow up. You hear people say the fortune is in the follow up. Making $5,000 or $10,000 a month, that's a nice fortune. So are you doing this step of following up to ensure that you capture the fortune? Or all you're doing is all this work of connecting, but then you're dropping the ball when it comes to following up. So do you have a system to hold yourself accountable to make sure that you follow up? And you should go as Darren Hart, or not Darren Hardy, but as Eric Worre says, you go from one exposure to the next. So if you've had a conversation, it didn't result in them coming on board as a customer or a partner, then you have to have the next step in line. What is it? So maybe when we plan, maybe that's what you need to do, is to say, okay, what's my next step with this person? Make sure you've got a tracking system that will allow you to consistently follow up with people. And then create a DMO. What does your daily method of operation look like? You may be working full time, or you may not, but whatever your time frame is, make a daily method of operation that literally you know what you're going to accomplish every single day. Make a plan. And so create it around your schedule, but make sure you have one. I just told you, I've got those 2 power hours that I really try to protect those hours. The first hour is all about connecting with prospects, and the last hour is all about connecting with customers. And I'm reminded every time, and I literally, alarm goes off and it says, talk to your customers. Alarm goes off and it says, talk to prospects. Simple method of operation, but it works for me. What's working for you? Solidify your systems, whether it's Teamsy, Excel, Trello, or the good old paper and pencil. Make sure you've got a system that's tracking what you're giving to people, who you're talking to, when you talk to them last, what's your next step with them. We have to have a system if we're going to see and realize the kind of money that we want to achieve. It doesn't happen by chance. It takes planning and execution. Lastly, or second to last, they're promote events, whether they're online, live events, JPTV, sending a video, create events. What events do you need to jump into? And I'll post the events for the week on Team Extreme Facebook page. What events? And I guarantee you, when you start seeing those events, you're going to start thinking, oh my goodness, so-and-so would like to hear that. That would resonate with so-and-so. What it's going to do is seeing those events, creating those events is going to give you energy, and it's also going to remind you of the people who need to hear about Juice Plus. And then lastly, embrace the community. So kudos to you guys who week in and week out get on these calls, because you're embracing the community. And that's where people, one, you build your skills, but two, you also keep Juice Plus top of mind, whether it be from a customer standpoint or a prospect standpoint, or where you want to go. But being involved in this community is huge when it comes to really building and growing a business. So I want you right now to look at the screen. How many of your team members are on this call right now? We need to have, and I tried to do it and I didn't today, but we need to have those people on our team that we reach out to and send a text. You know, we can tag them in the invitation, which is great, But nothing's better than getting a text from someone saying, oh my goodness, I hope you're jumping on the call today because we're going to miss you if you're there. Here's what we're learning about, and send them a link to the call. Get them involved in this community, and what's going to happen is you're going to see them build and grow as a partner. And the bigger, we can't build to $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000. There's no way that we can build to that level unless we have people joining us. We can't, I mean, I don't know anyone that could build that many customers. And it is a team effort. We got to celebrate some major promotions that took place this past week. Those people didn't hit those promotions on their own. They don't have 1,000 customers. That's just more than anyone would want to try to manage. But what they've done is they've like, come on, lock arms with me. Let's do this together. That's hard to resist. If I called you and said, oh my goodness, let's do this. Here's what's going on. Let's do this event together. Come do this. It's hard to tell someone no when they have singled you out and you feel them wanting to pull you in and be with you. It's hard to say no to that. So are we inviting? And how are we inviting? Are we calling them and saying, you got to get on this call, you know? Or let's do a Zoom call and let's invite your customers, or let's invite some prospects. So let's get really good about building our community and really helping them grow. All right, so Brenda, if you can stop the recording. We've got 5 minutes before we